First off, welcome again. Thanks so much for coming in today. I should have done my homework to figure out what class this was, but I know when I look at that Hall of Fame wall, there are Hall of Fame inductees from a long time ago that have been in this Hall of Fame. So I know this is a special day for everybody. It's an honor to be here, to welcome you all here, and to welcome our class of 2024 to the Academic and Athletic Hall of Fame. My name is Ella Olson. I'm the Activities Director here at Superior High School. This is my 5th year. I believe it's the 3rd year that we've done the Hall of Fame induction. And it's truly an honor to start seeing everybody come back and to welcome everybody back and truly feel the great history that is Superior Spartans in this awesome school and awesome place. So, like I said, this class feels a little bit more personal to me. There's a lot of people that I can say that I've worked with, had the pleasure to, and actually, fortunately for me, this class has been more that I can call friends now, and actual, being part of the Spartan community. So I'm really excited to welcome everybody here, and it's an absolute pleasure to introduce the inductees as we go forward here. Before we begin, I do have a few thank yous that must not be forgotten. First off, I know they're out there eating right now, but let's hear it one more time for our amazing orchestra under the direction of Amy Eichers. I can't forget about our great volunteers from some of our academic and athletic teams that were out selling tickets, checking you in, and organizing that too. So that's really what this night is about. I know we do collect some money to help us pay for the food, but anything that's extra goes directly back to those programs in our fundraising efforts. So we do appreciate that, and thanks again for everything you've done for those purposes. I would also like to thank our entire Hall of Fame committee for working hard each spring to gather our nominations. We sit in meetings, we look over all the nomination forms, and then we truly just vote for the best and most representative. Another great thanks goes out to our engineers and our custodial staff for their hard work and dedication to keeping this building fresh. Special thanks to Craig Morrissey and our friends at iFan.tv for streaming tonight's event. They'll also have it in their recorded archives eventually as well. I know a lot of you have mentioned watching previous years too. So we thank iFan and Craig for being here tonight as well. And finally, I'd just like to thank all of our Hall of Fame Planning Committee for the members for their hard work to make this happen, especially Caitlin Knoll, Elise Sterling, Tracy Allen, and Jan Jago. So let's get them ahead. All right, so as you saw, this year we did things a little bit different. Before coming into the pack, you have been able to see just how much that this class of 2024 has truly accomplished. Their tables have all their accolades. I shouldn't say all. Some of their accolades. There's many, many more that they're all very deserving of. The best part is they're all part of our mighty Spartans. So excited about that. We couldn't be more proud of their accomplishments. Before this weekend started, I emailed the inductees and asked them to just take a few minutes to thank those that got them here. And how they got to be where they are. So at this time, I'm going to call each inductee up, and we will start hearing from them. So starting off, we will recognize our Athletic Hall of Fame inductees. The Individual Achievement Award will recognize and honor individuals who have displayed distinctive, unique, or exceptional athletic accomplishments. Our first Individual Achievement Award inductee is Caitlin Heenan.
I want to start off by congratulating everybody being honored here tonight. It's a well-deserved recognition for your hard work and dedication, so congrats to all of you. And thank you so much to those who have nominated or who nominated me. I can't say enough how thankful I am for the community that I've had around me to support me. Thank you to all of those who have supported me throughout my athletic career. I never would have made it here without the help of my coaches, my teammates, my families, and my family and my friends. Thank you to my parents who were there for all my long swim meets and tournament weekends. I don't know how you sat through 8 hours on a hot pool deck for 10 plus years, but you guys never complained. You made it look so easy, and I can't thank you enough for everything you've done for me. Thank you to the rest of my family, aunts, uncles, grandparents, to my sister who I just copycatted, and that's why I played the sports that I did. Thank you to my amazing coaches and all the programs I participated in over the years, starting in 8U at the YMCA. Thank you to Coach Lehman, who really started to push me and just still made practices so fun. If you know George Lehman, he's like one of the best people ever, and he just has a great sense of humor. Thank you to Howie Leathers and Coach Punko, who always believed in me and thought I was just capable of absolutely everything, and I'm so thankful to have participated in that club team. Thank you to Steve Vergeen and my dad for coaching our 12U softball team. Some long weekends, but I don't remember anything about the games, but those weekends were just so much fun, and I have so many good memories. Thank you, Amy Zembo, for always reminding me to keep a level head. That was a big thing for me, and to work and play as a team. I'm just so grateful for what sports have done for me over the years. You know, it's not the games, it's not the meets that I remember, but the friends and just the stuff off the field and out of the pool. I have sports to thank for my 3 very best friends who are here tonight. Started playing sports, softball, swimming back in 8U. We've burned all of those pictures, so don't ask for them. Again, just thank you so much. I'm sure I missed a bunch of people, but I'm just beyond grateful. And thanks again to my fellow inductees. And just my little reminder, keep supporting and recognizing women in their sports and in their achievements. I know that there are so many that are deserving of this recognition, so just keep on supporting them, and thank you so much.
All right, our next Individual Achievement Award inductee is Logan Carpenter.
First off, thank you for all coming tonight. It's quite an honor to be recognized tonight amongst all these other amazing athletes and individuals. It's good to see a lot of new faces, familiar faces I haven't seen in 20 years, so hello to all of you again. It's hard to believe it's been so long, but even after being out of high school for many years, I can still say that some of my best memories are from high school athletics. A lot of friendships made, a lot of great times, and sometimes I wish I could go back and do it all over again. High school was a great experience, but not without challenges, and sometimes looking forward to that practice, game, or meet made all the difference. I want to do a special quick thank yous to all my coaches over the years. Tim Gallagher, Aaron Ashley, my dad Dean, Jill Prescott, Dina Wells, George Lehman, Pete Conley. You guys are awesome. Without your teaching and dedication to the sport, I could never have been successful. Special thank you to Stefan Pagnucci. It's been great getting to know you over the last few years, and I'm looking forward to an exciting season coming up. Bill Punko, it was always nice when you'd stop into practice from time to time. I think you're the only one that I can still be at the alumni meet, so hope to see you around. Mom and Dad, thank you for all your love and support. Love you guys, could never have done it without you. And to all the soccer moms who would bring treats and desserts for after the games, sometimes that was the best part of the game. And to all the parents who would put on spaghetti feeds during the swim season, a lot of fun. We all look forward to them, and the swim season would not have been the same without them. There are probably others to thank whose names I forgot to mention, but just know that you have my appreciation. Thank you again for all coming.
tonight. Our next Individual Achievement Award inductee is Ross Kenley.
Well, good evening, everybody. First and foremost, I'd like to thank Spear High School Hall of Fame committee in putting this thing together. The last couple days and the events that have gone with it have been great. So I know my family's really enjoyed it, and I think what we do here is pretty special in the sense that this doesn't happen everywhere. There's a lot of towns and schools that have a lot of great people, that go through and don't get the recognition, and fortunately, we have something where a lot of talented people and teams are able to get celebrated. So it's a cool thing. Thank you guys and just everything you do in making this happen. First, I'd like to thank my parents. By the grace of God, they're my support system, and just couldn't be more blessed to have them in my life. And if you only knew the miles, the time, the money, everything it took just to, compete, have fun, grow as a human, it was amazing. And I'm just grateful for them. And it was quite the journey, and it's cool to be here now. So one of my greatest joys as an athlete was having family get together to watch games, and friends get together to watch games. It's just such a joy to, be a reason for people to get together. As we know, time's very precious, it's invaluable, and so to be part of a reason that families getting together, such as tonight, this weekend, it's really special to me and an honor. So coaches, it's too many to thank. You all know who you are. I guess instead of kind of going one by one, I just kind of want to recognize the selflessness and just what you guys do, the impact it has, and not just from a performance level. You have examples where because of sport, because of athletics, that young kid who was struggling through middle school is making the honor roll all of a sudden, and it's because of a big reason of it. A big reason for that success is because of athletics and the opportunities and the support and the coaches, the opportunities you guys and the support you give us on a daily basis. So I just want to commend you guys for what you do. If only the general public knew the hours, the effort, the things that you guys do to just guide young human beings. It's amazing. So I'm thankful for you guys. And one thing to note with coaches, I got a couple out there. I'm really looking forward to the day where I can come back and watch them get inducted. So I'm just really looking forward to continuing this tradition and being able to celebrate a lot of just great people and great leaders in our community. I want to give a quick shout out to a lot of my friends just going through high school. I wouldn't be up here without them, the competitors that they are, and you guys know who you are. There's too many to count. Between Bo Rader and Nate Sanders, Garrett Hobson, Seth Sutherland, Jake Leibel, Mitch Anderson. I could go on and on. Just guys who we competed at everything, and things sometimes got a little bit chippy, and we'd maybe talk a little bit of trash here and there, but it was all for the good of the team. At the end of the day, we were competing together, and I wouldn't be up here without those guys and many more that I didn't name. And it's just really grateful for them. And yeah, and their impact in my life and in my success. So, and a lot of those guys are friends for life, which is really special. So, yeah, man, to wrap things up, I want to thank my wife, Britta, for ironing my shirt. It looks great. I appreciate that. Yeah, I love you and look forward to the rest of our lives, and just really grateful that now your family's here. And just really grateful for you. To wrap things up, you guys probably noticed I thanked a lot of people and mentioned a lot of people, and really that's kind of epitomizes the successes and I guess just things that I've accomplished. I've had a lot of great people who have been in my corner, and so it might be my name on the plaque and up here, but really it's a reflection of my family, my friends, my coaches, people in the community, teachers, just really everyone who supported me in high school and beyond. So just really grateful to be up here. Congratulations to everyone else who's being honored tonight, and go Spartans.
All right, our next Individual Achievement Award inductee is Mike Stack.
Okay, first thing I was told is I got to speak into the microphone. My wife's going to put her hand to her ear if she can't hear me, so everybody's okay with that, right? First thing I want to do is thank the Hall of Fame committee. Big honor. I'm really honored to accept it. But I also want to thank Paul Sandvik. He wrote a nomination letter. Sandy, I know it's all accurate, but I couldn't even remember all the stuff you put in the letter. So it was really nice, and obviously it's accurate. And I don't know where your memory comes from, but thank you very much. The other people I want to introduce is my family. 50 years ago we did something here that was pretty special at Superior High School, but through the years, we built a family. I really want to introduce my grandson Tatum, my son Ryan, my daughter Rachel, who has blessed us with the announcement of a new grandson in February, and last but certainly not least, my wife Karen, my best friend, my life partner, who has listened for 40 years to my athletic achievements and then goes out and kicks my butt on the golf course and the pickleball court. So maybe at home, what I'll learn from tonight is that I could maybe listen better at home than talk at home. So, 50 years ago we did something really special. Nobody's ever done it. We won the state basketball championship. You know what they say down in southern Wisconsin. They say they only play hockey up in Superior, right? So, but I got to start in basketball when I was 10 years old. And just FYI, the 5 minutes, no, I'm not going through my whole career, okay? Just to make that real clear. But Rob Moody came to me and said, let's go try out for basketball. And I had never played basketball before. And his sales pitch to me was, don't worry, you'll make the team. My brother's the coach. And so that started a 38-year relationship that I had with basketball. And I loved every minute of it, and I loved playing for Superior High School. But what we did in '74 was something really amazing. We have 5 players off of that 12-man team that are in the Hall of Fame. We have 7 players off that 12-man team that went on and played college sports, one of which, Dan Morgan, who died very young, still holds pitching records at the University of Minnesota 50 years later. I mean, that team was an unbelievable team, and I had the privilege of being a captain on that team. But the other thing is that we started that season 5-3. looking to very possibly have a very, very, very mediocre season. And we all came together and we said, we are not going to have this very mediocre season. We're going to move forward and we're going to do something special. That team never lost another game. And if a lot of you are probably too young to have ever watched the game, but if you ever get a chance to watch a game, it's on the internet. The championship game is a phenomenal game, and I want to share a little bit of that. As we went on the 17-0 run, we beat the number 2 ranked team in the state of Minnesota. We beat the number 6 ranked team in the state of Wisconsin. We set a state tournament record for team field goal percentage in a game, 67%. Just for those of you that are not basketball players, really good basketball teams try to strive for 50% from the field. We went 67%. And we get to the state championship game, and we're still rated 23rd in the state. And we're playing against a 23-0 Milwaukee Lincoln team whose smallest player was the same height as our biggest player. Now, if you're in basketball, we always used to say you can't coach height. And they had the height on us. So Don Olson set us in motion. He said, we have to take this team that's averaging 80 points a game, and we have to hold them in this game to 60 points. And the way we do that, and he looked at me and he said, every time we shoot a free throw, we are going to change our defense. And Mike, you make the decision on what defense we play. Now, just kind of FYI, college teams don't change 4 different defenses in a game, but that's what we did that night. And so the game is remembered for the shot that I made at the end of the game. But we said we had to hold that team to 60 points. At halftime, though, was really the turning point in the game. We were 31-31 at halftime. And we go into the halftime locker room and we think, we're right on target for this. And we sit down on the bench in the locker room and Don Olson reads us out. You didn't do this, you didn't do that, you ought to be ahead by 10 points, and he totally changes the game. We go out in the second half with confidence, knowing that we can beat this team. And then the game comes down to the final. They're ahead 61-59, 5 seconds to go. We got the length of the floor to go. And the team comes to me. But the real thing there is that if Rob Moody doesn't make 6 out of 8 shots to start the game and score our first 12 points, if Mark Mazzelli doesn't get 8 out of 8 free throws so that we put ourselves in a position, if Bill Doucette doesn't come off the bench and break the Milwaukee Lincoln press, that shot I make is just another 2-point shot. It's just another 2-point shot in a season when there were hundreds of 2-point shots. So I really encourage you to watch that game. It's a fun game, and after I made that shot, the adrenaline kicked in. We beat Milwaukee Lincoln, who many people said was the greatest team that ever played in the state of Wisconsin. And so 50 years ago, we did something really special. Nobody's done it since. Nobody did it before. And it was something very special, and I really appreciate and thank you for the honor tonight. I accept it graciously and humbly. But I want to leave you with one other comment. I have one regret tonight, and that's that my mom and dad aren't here to share this award. My dad once said to me, the reason I like to come and watch you play is because everything I like about you as a person, I see when you play basketball. And that's the greatest compliment I ever got from anybody playing basketball, and I played basketball for 38 years. So thank you tonight for this award. I'm honored, and I'll turn it over to the next person.
All right, our next Individual Achievement Award inductee is Justin Kraker.
I want to start off by thanking the Hall of Fame Committee. Obviously, that's a tremendous honor. Thank you to the 2024 inductees, and congratulations once again. It's amazing to be up here, humbling for sure. When I got the email from Ella that I was nominated and accepted, I started thinking back on my youth career, more specifically just because I'm a parent now, and reflecting on it, it was amazing to think about the youth programs that I was involved in and the coaches that I had. So my speech is based a lot more around the people that had an impact in my life. Most of them are here today. For me, baseball was my primary sport. I played football and basketball for sure as well, but my love for baseball truly started with the late, great John Hadley when I was a young man. He taught me, just how to love the game of baseball and made it fun. And then that spilled into Scott Peterson. I call him Uncle Scott. He saw something in me at an early age, I believe. He always, he wanted me to throw slower and not throw as hard. Taught me how to pitch. We would spend countless hours at his house playing catch, throwing batting practice to me. He didn't have to do that, but he did. And then fast forward, in high school, Coach Olson gave me my first opportunity here at senior high as a freshman. And I recall at the time I was at Central Junior High, the ninth graders didn't go to school at Superior Senior High, so I had to take a bus after school over, and I remember how nervous I was my freshman year. And Coach was very quick to tell me, you belong here, you made the team for a reason. He taught me how to lead, he taught me how to put in hard work, and I'm incredibly grateful for that with Coach Olson. Also, Steve Regine, when Coach Olson retired, Steve Regine took the reins and kind of carried on the tradition that Coach Olson left behind. Same thing, gave me opportunities, always pushed me to be a leader, laid that foundation once again for just being a student athlete, and it was a tremendous experience, and that was high school. And then during the summer times, obviously, VFW Legion, Steve Kidd was an individual that had a huge impact on my life. Close family friend. He would come with us on trips when we went to the North-South All-Star game. And I never met a man that was more invested in my accomplishments than Steve Kidd, and I'm incredibly grateful for him as well. And then my dad. My dad was the guy that was never too tired to play catch, was never too busy to throw a football, was never too busy once again to shoot baskets with me. He was always out there all the time, pushing me to be my best, selfless, and teaching me those values. And I'm incredibly thankful for him because I wouldn't be on this stage today without him. And then also, when it comes to football, that was another sport I played. And I'm trying to bring this all together. My youth experiences, a lot of people don't get these opportunities, but I had such tremendous role models. It started back in my youth football days, Billings Park Raiders, and we had a coach named George Cater that at the time was a young college kid that was coaching us. But, I remember his catchphrases, the count on me days and the few who do and all these different things and how invested he was at that time and made me love football. And then I had the tremendous honor of having the great Tom Mostel, who's here tonight. I've never had a coach that has pushed me harder than him. But demanded perfection, but brought the best out in you. So when I think about my time here at Superior Senior High, I had just tremendous role models, tremendous coaches that kind of paved the path for what happened to me beyond in college and eventually professionally. And a lot of people don't have that. I know, once again, going through this with my own children, it's been said before, you don't realize the impact you have on a young athlete, and Superior has done it so amazingly through Superior Youth Organization and everything else, and I'm so humble for that. And then I need to recognize my mom. She was the loudest fan in the stands. You could hear her at every game, whether it was football, baseball, but she was there for me, cheering me on till the bitter end. And when you think about sacrifice, and this was referenced before as well, your parents put so much time and effort into taking you from game to game, practice, here and there. I'm living it right now, and I'm so incredibly grateful for that, and it's an amazing honor. Ultimately, like I said, all of these people, family and friends that are here today, laid the foundation for what was to come for me when I played college, and then eventually beyond. I grew up in a sports family. My sister Dory, who's here tonight, she was equally as competitive. My brother Jeremy was a very good athlete. So, there's a lot of competition in our house. Now as a parent of 3, my son Jackson, who's here this evening, he's a senior and kind of embarking on the same journey as I did. He'll be fortunate enough to follow in his dad's footsteps and play college, which is pretty awesome. My daughter Ella, who is a sophomore, she plays volleyball, and my daughter Avery, who is 12, plays volleyball as well. And mom's back home because, as you know, as a parent of a student athlete, you're always running with your head cut off, and she's the one that holds it all together. So my wife Carly's at home right now with them. I'm sure they're watching, but I'm incredibly grateful for their support during all of this. I can only hope that my kids take away from their youth sports experiences what I did. You know, hard work, humility, and the bonds that can never be broken. I've had a tremendous opportunity to talk to a lot of individuals that made huge impacts on my life, and I'm incredibly grateful for that, thankful, and humbled by this honor. Thank you.
All right, our final Achievement Award inductee is Mike Sislo.
Thank you all for being here tonight. There's no way I'll be able to thank everyone who deserves recognition, but I'm going to give it my best. I want to first off thank Kenny Olson for nominating me and the committee for ultimately selecting me. Thank you very much, and congratulations to the other inductees. Tremendous honor, congratulations. And I just want to express how fortunate I feel to be able to grow up in Superior at the time that I did. All the tremendous friends I had, the families of friends, just great people, and no matter the season or the sport, there was always kids to play with, compete against, and I think that really helped set the foundation for things I was able to accomplish later on. I want to thank all the coaches I had throughout my entire career. As an athlete, I think being fortunate to have such good coaches allows you to be your best, and I want to specifically thank Coach Kalin, fortunate to play for you for 2 years here, ending off with the state championship, which is one of the proudest accomplishments of my career. Also want to thank Mel Matson. Mel was my Squirt A coach. Thank you very much, Coach. And I want to thank my friends, so many friends, friendships that were built here in Superior. They all know who they are, too many to name right now, but a lot of them traveled long distances to watch me play, support me throughout the years, sharing the successes and pick me up in the tough times. So thank you all. And lastly, just want to thank my family, cousins, aunts, uncles, grandparents. My grandma Cindy is up here tonight. Couldn't be thankful enough for the love and support from day one. And my brother Scott, growing up having an older brother as a role model, always wanting to play, and with him and his friends, you have no choice but to improve and get better and get a little tougher along the way as well. And for my parents, blessed to have the best parents. And my entire career, from when I started to when I ended, we talked after every game. Obviously, when we were younger, didn't have a choice. They were driving me home. But we talked about the good things, the bad things, the wins, the losses. And, as I went on in my career, as you all know, in a lot of sports nowadays, they talk about stats and analytics and this and that. But with my parents, it was always the only thing that mattered was, did you give everything you had, or did you leave a little for the car ride home? Did you give your best for the team, or did you leave a little? And I think that really simplified things for me, made the game simple, and control what you can control, and let the rest fall where it may. But yes, thank you all again. Thank you.
All right. We will now honor our Athletic Team Award. This award recognizes and honors teams that have displayed distinctive, unique, or exceptional athletic accomplishments. Tonight, we will recognize the 1988 football team led by head coach Tom Mistel. We'll invite everybody to come on up to the stage.
Looks like a police lineup. Did a lot of things with these kids, but they never got me down to the police station. I appreciate that, but my wife didn't want me to do this. She wanted me to have the kids do it because you get too emotional. And I said, no, this is probably my last chance. These ain't kids no more. These men were unbelievable. I appreciate everything that they did for me. I think my wife was right. We've been married for 59 years. She must know something about me. But I coached in Ashland. I didn't get out of college till I was in my 30s. And then I was coaching at a little school in Ladysmith named Mount Scenario College. And how the heck did you ever end up there? Well, it was my hometown. And I was working in a factory in Eau Claire, and boss comes to get me and says, you got a phone call. The only time I ever got a phone call when I was working in the factory was to take my wife to the hospital because we were having another baby. And I thought, God, she never even said a word, you know. But anyway, I got two of my sons sitting right here, the two oldest. And so, I was there, and one day I got a phone call from Ashland. And all I ever wanted to do for my life was I wanted to be a coach. I don't care what the sport was. I wanted to be a coach, and I wanted to work with the kids. And so I got a call, and the call was from a boy who was a good friend of mine. He served in Vietnam. He went to the United States Military Academy. He's the smartest guy I ever knew. And he's calling me. And so the boss comes to get me. He goes, you got a phone call. Oh, so I went down there. I thought something happened. And it was him calling me from the college. And he said, I want to hire you as a football coach, assistant football coach, assistant basketball coach, and assistant athletic director. Well, I got 3, 4 kids at that time, and I really didn't know if I should make the move or not. And he says, come on Sunday, we got a brunch at the college. So I went, and Karen and I went and talked to him, and I told him, I said, I don't have my degree. I got a year classes left. I worked 11 to 7 shift all the time, running overhead cranes, unloading steel. And I still got a year of college and then student teaching, because I wanted to be a teacher and a coach. And he says, tell you what, you can be the assistant athletic director, you can be the assistant football coach, and you can be the assistant basketball coach. Well, so we went and visited him, talked to him and everything. It was my hometown. My mother, who was the greatest athlete I've ever seen. My dad had passed away. He never saw me coach one time. And so, anyway, I ended up there. And I coached there for 2 years. And I owe that school a lot. And he passed away. The guy passed away. And so I went to Ashland. I got the job. I coached football. I was the head football coach, assistant basketball coach, track coach, baseball coach, and
Tell them about the meeting in the gym.
okay. This is my son.
It's my idea to watch him.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell them about the meeting in the gym right there.
Okay. So anyway, I ended up at Ashland. We had some great teams. I never thought I'd ever leave there. I loved the place. I loved the kids that were there. I have a reputation for pushing kids hard to be better. Is that true, guys? Yes. But anyway, one day my wife got a notice that she wasn't going to be renewed for the next year. So we started looking around, because we had 3 kids in college by that time. And a Superior job opened up. And so I applied for it, never thought I'd get it, but things worked out. So anyway, I went through the interview process and all that. I know this is a lot of feeling. My wife didn't want me to do this because she says you'll go on and on. She's right. But anyway, I got the job, and she got a job. That was the key thing. She got a job. And so I met the kids in the gym. One day, we had handing out equipment. I said, I want to talk to you guys. And so I met them in the gym and explained what I wanted and what I expected. And when we were in Ashland, we had won Division II state football championship. And I wanted to play with the big boys. And so I must have said something that they understood, because the guys told me later that they met in the parking lot and they said, guys, we got to knuckle down. This guy means business, you know. These kids are unbelievable. I can't even hardly, when I think of them, I start crying. I'm a pretty emotional man. And then one of the first things I had to do, I had to make a staff. Well, thank God they had some good ones. And Bob Glockner, where's Bob? Bob became my defensive coordinator. I said, Bob, can you run the defense for me? He said, yeah, I can. Bob and I are neighbors. We live out in the boonies. And I don't know what I'd do without him. We sat in many duck blinds, and while we're sitting in duck blinds or deer stands or whatever, what are we talking about? We're always talking about these kids, weren't we, Coach? Always. And he became my defensive coordinator. And then had a Rick Kenley. Where's Rick? Right behind me. Rick took over the offensive line and the defensive line, and he did an excellent job. And then you probably wonder what the hell I did. Well, anyway, then I had Steve. Steve's right there. Steve Wilson, and he did a great job for me too. He helped out a lot with the receivers and running backs and those type positions. And I had Mike Sweeney. Mike here? There's Mike. Coach Glockner, he hired me and Mike one time to help him put a basement in. Remember that, Mike? He didn't pay very well because we didn't get any money. But we got a lot of attaboys. Right, Mike? We're the only guys in the construction business that ever built put insulation in the walls in the basement. How many guys can put 6 inches of insulation into a 4-inch area? Right, Mike? We did it. We shouldn't have done it, but we did it. And we got done, we told Bob, hey, the insulation's too thick for the opening, but you know us, we got her done for you. But every time, Bob's my neighbor, every time I go over to his house, I kind of sneak in because I'm afraid maybe them nails are going to let loose and somebody's going to get hurt, you know. But anyway, and then we had Mike. Mike's favorite job was every time we went to the state playoffs, he was up in the press box where they got free food. And we'd be trying, Mike, on the phones, and he's trying to talk to us. But he's one of my best friends. And he's a great coach. He coached a long time in Hermantown. How many years, Mike? 26. Huh? 26. And he married the best athlete that ever came out of there. Yes, it's a girl. Okay. He did. She's super. I'll tell you that. Well, then, Bernie said, you guys, he says to Bob and I, he says, you guys should get to know each other a little bit. And so, and Bernie, he's a heck of a golfer. So he took Coach Glockner, myself, and him went golfing. And you guys will get to know each other. Yeah, right. I tee off, ball goes over here. Bob tees off, the ball goes over here. We go like this, they get to our ball, we hit again, and now they go like this. I don't think we hardly even got to talk to each other, did we, Bob? I don't think so either. So we had the golf outing and everything, and the kids told me they had their meeting in the parking lot, and we got our knuckle down. And I'm kind of all over the place here. But anyway, our scrimmage was with Rice Lake. And you kids worked pretty hard. I worked you pretty hard, didn't I? Yeah, their tongues are hanging out every night after practice. They're great kids. They're not kids no more, but they're great. And so anyway, we had a scrimmage down to Rice Lake, and we took care of those guys in a hurry. We should have been thrown in jail for what we did to those guys. And then we played, our first game was Eau Claire North. Eau Claire North was the pick in the Big Rivers Conference to win it. And by God, our kids played their hearts out, and we beat them 14-10. And then our next game was, then we had Spooner had a game, and it got canceled. And so they called and asked if we would take our JV team down there and play them on a Saturday. And so we did. We took the JV team down there. We beat the bejesus out of them. But you know what? In that scrimmage, we found 3 starters for the varsity. And they jumped in and helped us, and some of our kids didn't have to play 2 ways then. And it made a big difference in our team. Our first game was Eau Claire North. Well, like I told you, we beat them 14-10. Second game was Eau Claire Memorial. And you talk about a very unsuperior-like win. We beat them 17-0 on their field down at Carson Park. And we threw a touchdown pass, which very seldom happened in Superior. And then we kicked a 40-some-yard field goal. That doesn't usually happen in Superior. And our last score, trying to think what it was. Oh, we threw a touchdown. It was a 70-yard punt return by Joey. Where's Joe? Remember that? Heck, I could have run that one back. The guys had everybody laying on the ground, you know. It was unbelievable. These kids. I was so lucky to get that job, and so lucky with staff, Coach Bob, him and I, we lived so close to each other. And our wives were part of the program too. My wife did the videotaping, so she'd have to go up all over heck. And Judy did the voice on the films and down distance and stuff like that. So they're going up to Grand Rapids, and we're playing up there. And they come around the corner, and there's a great big bale of hay laying in the road. I said, well, what'd you do? My wife says, I hit it. And so, anyway, it was something else. But,
You want to get down to the
playoff?
playoffs,
Okay.
and then we should wrap her up.
All right.
Pretty soon. Pretty soon.
You know, I should have had you do this, and I could sit down there and holler at you.
Yeah, that's true.
But anyway, we made it to the playoffs, and the first game in the playoffs, we played a team. Superior had a powerhouse team the year before. No, didn't think anybody could come close to them. And by God, this team beat them. And so we dressed at Eau Claire North, and we went over to Carson Park to play the game. And before we left the school, we always met with the kids. We got to do this, we got to do this. You're here, here's here. And I asked the other coaches to please step out. And so Coach Glockner and Stan and Steve stepped out. And I said, I want to talk to these kids by myself. And so they said, okay. So out the door they went. I said, here's what we're going to do, guys. We're going to beat these guys. Nobody thought we could. We're going to beat these guys. And then, because the year before, they beat Superior. I said, we're going to beat these guys. And then, when I get done talking after the game, we're carrying these guys off this field. And what? I said, we're going to carry these guys off this field. And this is, mum's the word, because you got to win the game. We go out there and we beat them. And so I'm talking to the group like we did after every game. And I said, okay, boys, have at it. All of a sudden, they had those coaches up on their shoulder and along, coach, what's going on? What's going on? It's just enjoy the ride, you know. And I says, this year you're getting carried off the field against this team. The next game we played, I don't even, who do we play next, guys? Who? Oh, Wisconsin Rapids, yeah, we played there. And we beat them. Geez, these guys are on a roll. And one of the things that happened in that game was we had two place kickers, foreign exchange students. One of them was Yanni Kivimäki. I think he was from Sweden. Huh? Finland? That's next to Sweden, right? geography teacher. I know where it is. Those guys, it's just like when we were kids. If I said something wrong, they jump on me, you know. Good job. He came here all the way from Hawaii for this. I bet you wish you were back in Hawaii, eh? But anyway, we played those guys, and we beat them, and we got into the finals, and we ran into. I read the book, Barry Alvarez's book, and they asked him, "Who's the greatest back you ever had?" When I was reading that book, I thought, it's got to be Ron Dane. He won the Heisman Trophy. And it wasn't him. It was a boy from the Madison team we were playing. His name was Brent Moss. Brent Moss. God, the guy. We held him to 200 and some yards rushing. And they took it to us pretty good. And when he said that's the best running back he ever had, unfortunately, the young man had a drug problem. And he was just a junior that year. And the next year, he was arrested for all that stuff and went to jail. And eventually, about a year ago, he died from it. What a waste, you know. Unbelievable talent. Unbelievable. So I hope I didn't put you to sleep. Okay. And I have all the respect in the world for this team. You know, and these guys, they did super job for us. We worked them so hard you wouldn't believe it, and they came back every day for more. And they never begged, cut it short, no gassers tonight, no. We're going to beat teams, and I said, a lot of it's going to do with your conditioning, and they did a super job. I'm so proud of every one of these guys, every single one. And so, thanks a lot. And they made it without crying like a baby. Got close, but thanks for coming. Thanks for putting up with me. And it ain't your passing hand, is it? Good job, boys. Good job. That is good. Yep. Good job. Oh, I gotta tell you this one. This is Addie. Addie went in the military, and he fought in Desert Storm. And so anyway, I found out about that. And I knew his mom was worried about it. God, who wouldn't be? So I told the boys, I had the game ball in my hand. I said, you see this ball? We're going to take this football and we're going to give it to Addie's mom. But we got to win the game. We're not going to take any loser's ball over there. And so anyway, that team didn't have a chance. They played their heart out for Addie. And Mom. And thank God he made it home. Special one. How are you doing? Thank you. guy got to keep picking on my deer stand.
All right. Our next Hall of Fame category is our Coaching Achievement Award. This award honors career achievement in coaching. It recognizes individuals who have made positive contributions that support and promote athletics. Please welcome Coach Jason Kalin.
Good evening, everybody. When I saw the program and I had to follow Coach Mostella, I was like, oh, great. This guy's going to have everybody ready to play a football game. They're going to be jumping up in the seats, so I hope I can match that. I did write one. It's the first time in my career I've ever done that. I promised Ella I would keep it short. So I'd like to take a moment to congratulate all the inductees tonight for receiving this honor. Your hard work, dedication, and commitment to your sport, your craft, or your career. It's a testament to what we live and breathe here in the Spartan community. I also like to thank the Hall of Fame committee for everything that they've done, for the events that they put on this week, and another wonderful evening to honor all of our inductees. There are many people that I'd like to thank this evening, but there's nearly not enough time to do all that. But I'm going to stick to the script that Ella provided us. I want to start by thanking those individuals who nominated me for this recognition, Tracy Donosky and Ray Cozy. The nominations that you wrote spoke volumes about how well you understood the why of what coaching has meant to me over the years and how important it was for me to be successful for this community and our student athletes. So thank you. To my parents, Bill and Renee, thank you for being my role models and heroes my entire life. You're the reason why I was able to play and love the game of hockey, and you are the reason I became an educator. To follow in your footsteps in this career has been humbling to say the least, and I appreciate everything that you have sacrificed and done to get me on the right path. I am beyond thankful. To my family and close friends who have always supported me and shared in the excitement of this sport and my time coaching it, thanks for enduring my long-windedness and stories that I would share about my experiences as the Spartans coach. I know that I tend to get carried away at times, but it's only because I loved what I did so much. My best buddy, Mark, threw me for another loop, flew in from D.C. last night after we were on the phone the night before, telling me he was at work in Massachusetts or something, and he bumps into me at the football game last night just to surprise me once again. First time he did it was my first year. We were at the state championships in Dane County Coliseum, and I'm running down the hallway with a pair of skates in my hand to get them sharpened before our game, and all of a sudden he runs up to me. He's like, "What can I do? How can I help?" And I'm like, "What are you doing here?" And he's been surprising me ever since, so thanks for always being there for me, bud. To my wife and children, I cannot show my appreciation enough. The sacrifices that you have made so that I could be the coach of the Spartans are hard to comprehend. We did make it a great life together. We were a Spartan family every step of the way. Krista, you are the real Hall of Famer. There's no doubt about that. Anyone who was a spouse of a head coach knows exactly what I'm talking about. We have been together since the beginning of my head coaching career. I think we almost wrote it into our wedding vows. Since 2001, she has supported me through it all, raised our children to be the most amazing kids, kind, caring, and determined. My wife and kids made this career and my achievements possible, so thank you. To all the coaches and ADs that I've worked with directly or indirectly over the last 27 years, I have taken little bits and pieces from each and every one of you over the years, and I've always appreciated our conversations and support that we are able to provide for one another. Bob DeMeyer, Ray Cozy, Steve Olson, and Ella, you are always individuals that I could lean on and get honest answers from. Even when we were not in agreement, which was not very often, I could always walk away from those conversations knowing that I was making the right decisions for my team and players. You are great leaders, and one of the reasons why I became the coach that I was in the end. To my hockey coaching staff and some of my closest friends, I don't have the words to express my gratitude. Oh, I said I wasn't doing this. For your sacrifices and for those that your family have given so that you could coach for the Spartan hockey program and make it one of the best programs in the state year after year. We certainly had some amazing times together on road trips, at practice and team gatherings, and on game nights. It's one of the things that I miss most since I've been out of coaching. Win or lose, we were in it together. A coach doesn't earn this honor without surrounding themselves with an amazing supporting staff. So thank you to all of you. To our teams, players, and managers, the memories that are the most important are the ones that still guide me through life. The way that our teams would handle themselves on road trips, at games, and in our community was what I was most proud of. We prided ourselves on building character in our players. Treat others how you want to be treated. Be humble in victory, gracious in defeat. When that puck dropped, you can be the meanest and hungriest SOB you want, but when the buzzer sounds at the end of the game, we're going to have a good shake 'em up with the opponent. I always have said that the losses will shape a person even more so than some of our biggest victories. In defeat, it's when we have to face our biggest fears and weaknesses. But being able to dig yourself out of it and come back the next night with the same fire and passion, that's the definition of a great player and a great team. One of my fondest memories or highlights, there were so many, and it was hard to choose. One of my most recent was in 2014-15 season. Our team was 8-14-1 heading into playoffs. No one in the state gave us a chance, and of course Hudson's team was on the rise, and we had to get through them in sections in order to go on to state. Our team was on the verge of making it happen. We lost too many games that year by 1 or 2 goals, and we were hungry. Of course, we ended up playing all season long the best of the best in the state of Wisconsin in the LSC Conference, and that's what made us so good at the end of the season. Well, we had something to prove, so our coaches and players came up with a battle cry for the rest of the season. From that point on, we were unbeatable. Not one player on our team had more than 20 points that season. We were a complete, well-rounded team. Once we got down there, we had to beat Hudson to get through the sections. We beat them 2-1 in the section final in another thriller. Once we got down there, we had all the confidence that we needed. We ended up rolling through the 3 teams. We shut out Wausau West 6-0 in the championship game. And to this day, we are the only team to win the state championship with a losing record on the season. We ended our season 14-15-1, winning the last 6. We had many teams like this, always accomplished, well-rounded. We loved being overlooked everywhere. We were disliked in the state of Minnesota across the bridge, and we were hated in the state of Wisconsin. Every team always got up for a game against Superior. To the players, managers, and coaching staff of all my Spartan hockey teams, thank you for the pride that you put into our program. Thank you for the heart that you played with every day, and thank you for your contributions to the tradition of Spartan hockey. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for the years, the memories, the privilege, and the honor it was to be your coach and colleague. Once a Spartan, always a Spartan.
Our next category is a Community Employee Volunteer Award. This award is presented to a person, company, or organization that has made positive contributions that support the athletic mission of the Superior Community Schools. This year we have 2 very worthy individuals being inducted. The first is Mr. Mel Matson.
Testing, 1, 2. Testing, 1, 2.
It's an old habit. Every time I get behind a mic, that's the first thing that comes out of my mouth, so I had to stay with it. It is an honor to be here tonight and to be inducted in the Superior High School Hall of Fame. Congratulations to my fellow inductees. I marvel at your accomplishments, whether it be as an individual or as a member of a team. When Ella sent me the email, she said, "Tell us how you got started." Well, Ella, here we go. It was a winter day in February of 1955. No, I'm just kidding. But I am that old. I've been part of the Spartan community for a long time. As a student athlete in the 70s, as a high school coach in the 80s, as an amateur coach in the 90s, a teacher for 30 plus years, and now a PA announcer, scorer, whatever needs to be done for 30 more years or more. In that time, I've had the pleasure of working with a lot of incredible people with amazing talents and skills. It has certainly made life interesting and very rewarding. I began as a PA person when asked to cover a hockey game one night. And I did a couple of those games, and soon it started to progress, and I did a football game here and there, and then it soon came a basketball game here and there, and it just kind of snowballed from there. Some of my early remembrances of being a public address announcer would be at Ole Hogsrud Field. Those of you who remember that field, I was scared to go up in that press box. It was narrow. One person could only fit through there at a time. I didn't know if the floor was going to fall apart. And you couldn't see out the windows, and if it was a really sunny day, you couldn't see the field. And so being a PA guy for that was very difficult. I also remember soccer. I'd have to sit on the sidelines of the soccer field or the pitch in a lawn chair with a stopwatch in my hand and speak through a bullhorn. I don't know if the people heard me on the other side or not. And then softball seemed like whenever and Caitlin was a part of those teams, I'd have to sit along the fence, and inevitably the wind was coming off the lake and blew all the dust right into my face as I'm trying to announce the games through a bullhorn. That was the start, and I look at the facilities we have now, and it's absolutely amazing. In the time I've had the pleasure of working with and meeting a lot of incredible people with amazing talents and skills. Oops, sorry, I read that already. There are so many people I would like to thank. My brain goes every once in a while. First of all, I'd like to thank Coach Bob DeMeyer, former activities director Ray Cozy, and my daughter-in-law, Kaylin, for nominating me for this award. To all the activities directors, both past and present, that have given me an opportunity to be a part of Spartan Athletics, I thank them. To all the coaches I've had the pleasure of having conversations with, working with, and getting their advice on how to make things better. It was wonderful to watch our coaches work. It was wonderful to see how they treated their athletes and how they went about their business of trying to make them young men and women. It was a real thrill to work with all of them. I have a special shout out to all those people who are brave enough to be officials. Without those officials, whether we like their calls sometimes or not, without them, these games couldn't go on, and I couldn't do what I was doing up there announcing people's names. It is the love of the game that they have that made them into officials, and we certainly thank them for that. To all the individuals I've shared a booth with, a press box, or a scorer's table, your presence and professionalism have made what I do so much fun. It is an honor to work with each and every one of you, and there's probably too many to mention at this point. To all the student athletes, what a thrill you've provided for all the spectators. All of you that have played sports here at the high school, your amazing talents, your hard work, your dedication, and your love of your sport shows through every time you stepped on the field. It was always it was always important that I tried to make sure that you were recognized for what you were doing. And it was a pleasure to do that. To my sons and daughters and my extended family, I want you to thank you for being there always, encouraging and understanding what the old guy was doing. I was given a unique opportunity to actually announce games in which my sons were a part of, and I will always treasure those times. They always kept me grounded. They always knew what was and they always let me know what was most important in life, and that was family. And I'm very proud of all three of my sons and all three of my daughters. To my wife, Joanne, who's sitting right there, I won't make her stand up. Being inducted tonight is a great honor, but 39 years ago today, I had the honor of marrying you. You've made my life better in every single way. I thank you. It is not nearly enough to show how much I appreciate all you do. I love you. In closing, I love what I do. Hopefully I've done justice to the craft. Perhaps one day, God willing, I might announce activities that my granddaughters are a part of. I want to thank all those who made this possible today. I'm humbled and blessed. Thank you very much.
Our next Community Employee Volunteer Award inductee is trainer Mike Goglin.
Well, this is definitely an odd thing for me. Normally I'm up here talking about impact testing and what's being injured and what's hurt and that kind of thing. So big honor to be up here tonight for this evening. I want to thank Ella. I want to thank the committee. I want to congratulate fellow inductees. And I'd like to thank personally Jed Carlson and Ray Cozy for nominating me tonight. I got to get some of these thank yous out of the way. I don't normally do public speaking from a script, so this is new for me. I do want to thank my mom and dad, Jim and Patty. They're here tonight. They taught me how to work hard, have a good work ethic, be respectful of people, and I hope that's shown through in what I do. I'd also like to thank my siblings, Rachel, Bridget, and Seth, and all of their families for being here tonight and making the trip. You guys' love and support has been awesome since I was a little kid. So thank you all, and I love you. I want to thank Kim Monsell, fellow Hall of Fame inductee from a few years ago. She was my professor at St. Scholastica. Got into athletic training, really steered me down the path of what it meant to be an athletic trainer. I have to thank her for my first job with Essentia Health. Put in a good word for me with my current boss. Started off up in Virginia, Minnesota. Loved the Duluth area, going to St. Scholastica, and always wanted to get back to the Duluth Superior Twin Ports area. Superior High School opened up. Kim's an SHS grad. She's like, you'd be a perfect fit there. Trusted Kim a lot, and 18 years tells me it was the right fit. So I'm very thankful for that. I'd also like to thank the athletic directors that I've had during my tenure at SHS. Larry Cole, Ray Cozy, and Ella Olson. Without your guys' support, I couldn't do what I do here. To have that support from your admin as an athletic trainer is a really big deal, and I'm very grateful for that. I'd also like to say thank you to Nicole Rothschadel. Nicole, you run the athletics department. I think anybody in this room who is involved with Superior Athletics know how much Nicole means to that department, to our teams, to our coaches, to our athletes, to everybody. If I had something that I needed to get done quickly, and Larry, you're not here when Larry was here, but if Ray or Ella was busy, I always knew to come to you, and I could count on you to get it done, so thank you. I'd also like to thank Greg Vergamini, who is here tonight. Greg, you've been a mentor, a confidant, a great friend. I appreciate all your insight, not just related to athletic training, but to life in general. I really appreciate our talks and the support that you gave me during my time here and continue to do so. I think it's my turn to buy lunch next time, too. The last people that I want to thank right now are my family. My wife, Stephanie, my kids, Levi, Olivia, Logan, and Lydia. Yep, there's a lot of them. Daddy is very proud of you guys. Thank you for being here tonight. I love you guys. I honestly never thought I'd be in this position talking in front of you guys here tonight. When I got the email from Ella that I had been nominated, I almost deleted it because I thought it was, hey, Hall of Fame banquet's coming up, get your tickets, that kind of thing. And then I saw you've been, and I was like, well, that was weird. So I opened it up, shot her a text. I'm like, well, what is this? She's like, oh, yeah, you got nominated. I'm like, okay, that's weird. The only thing I've ever done and hope that I've done for you as an athlete, you as a coach, or you as a parent is to provide you with the knowledge and the expertise that I learned through my schooling and through other people to make sure that you could compete to your highest ability. So I thank you as athletes, coaches, and parents for allowing me to be part of your care, for treating your sons and daughters, treating your athletes, treating your teammates, treating yourself. Big honor. I didn't grow up in Superior. I didn't go to Superior High School, but I have felt at home since day one, so I thank you all for that. I also thought I'd be finishing my athletic training career here at Superior High School, and as we all know, things change. A couple of years ago, I had the opportunity to step into a supervisory role for our athletic training group at Essentia Health, and unfortunately, that took me out of the training room, off the field, off the court, off the rink, and that's the thing I got into athletic training for. I was an athlete in high school, not a state caliber athlete, but I love sports and I wanted to stay involved with that, and athletic training was a great way for me to do that. It was a really tough decision to make, and I know Jason and Bob, I mentioned to you that this might be coming down the road, and those were two tough conversations that I had to have. Jason, you've been here since day one for me. Bob, you came in a couple of years after I started, and you guys are great friends. I love talking about music with Bob, learning how to play smear with Jason and the rest of the coaching staff. Just things that I miss to this day and will continue to miss, but an opportunity arose for me and my family, and to be home at night with my kids is huge. My wife Stephanie is also an athletic trainer, so she knows the long hours and the late nights that we put in. And I'm very grateful that I got to do that, but I'm also very grateful that I get to spend more time now with my family as well. So once again, I just want to thank everybody for being here tonight. Thank those who nominated me. Thank you to those who supported me throughout my career. Humbled and blessed to be part of this group tonight. Thank you.
All right, we will now recognize the three inductees entering into our Academic Hall of Fame. First off is our Academic Advisor Achievement Award. This award is presented to a Superior Community School academic team advisor that exceptionally supported the academic mission of the Superior Community Schools and has made positive contributions to academic teams. Being inducted this year is Mr. Paul Zolver.
Well, thank you and good evening. It's great to be back here amongst so many good old-time friends and my fellow Spartans. Tonight, we meet here at the confluence of our past, our present, and our future. It's probably the second greatest honor of my life to be honored amongst everyone else here tonight for the collective past achievements, the common thread of which is Superior Senior High School. And it's appropriate that we are celebrating and meeting here in this wonderful auditorium tonight. It's just incredible facility that, in my mind, is a living monument to the ongoing commitment and support from the Superior community that provides opportunities for all student learners. And remember, I did call it an auditorium, PAC, whatever, but for the first 30 years of existence of this incarnation of a high school, Superior High School, 1965 to 1995, we had an auditorium lobby, but we didn't have an auditorium. And for this is the 30th year that we've had this wonderful facility, so we can, those of us with bad backs, bad knees, bad hips, poor hearing, and lousy eyesight, we can sit in comfort and enjoy the festivities of tonight. And we might be here for a multitude of different reasons, to celebrate, to recognize accomplishments, but in my mind, I'm here to help pay it forward. Pay it forward for the future generation of Superior Spartans in all activities and all endeavors at Superior Senior High School. And it is with that endeavor in mind that I'm pleased to be here to accept this Hall of Fame plaque. Now, Superior High School in 1983, when I arrived, was a far different place. This is an awesome facility. This was not here at that time. And the old school, when I drove up Catlin Avenue in June of '83 for my job interview, the first time I laid eyes on Superior Senior High School, it just took my breath away. What a beautiful building that was. Circular, and for those of you in iFan world that may not know, we had a circular school, beautiful architectural lines. I'm no architect, but even I could recognize beauty when I see it. But it was a thing of beauty, marvelous. So that left a first impression. Superior Senior High School at that time had grades 10, 11, and 12. We had 3 computers in the entire building, and they all resided in the math department, and they were Tandies from Radio Shack. My first year teaching, my first hour students, I'd have freshly dittoed sheets that they would promptly sniff. If you know, you know. Okay? And the kids that were recognized here tonight, the class of '89 football, they had 449 students that graduated in that class. So over the time that I was here, things of course change. And change is certainly a good thing. However, there's one thing that never changed or wavered. If anything, it increased, and that was that incredible level of support from our Superior community, again, for all student learners. And my DECA members were certainly the beneficiaries of that. So very much appreciate that. I have to thank certain, stakeholder groups. First and foremost would be the students that I had the pleasure of working with. And you might think, well, probably the all-stars or whatever that might have won something at nationals, et cetera. And that was always our endeavor. However, number 30 on the football team would tell you that even though Dana, he scored a lot of touchdowns and made a lot of first downs and did a lot of important, incredible things, there were also 10 other people on the field that made things happen. And the same thing is true in our organization in DECA, is that for every individual success, there was many other people that had their fingerprints on the success. So when I say I thank my former students, I mean all of them and not just some of them, because without them, I certainly wouldn't be here this evening. So I'm forever indebted to them. Also, you get to know the parents. And many parents, after their kids had gone through the program, they continued to support the kids that are in the program even to this day. And believe me, I've not forgotten about that, and I'm very grateful for that. It's great if you hang around long enough, you get to have several kids within the same family. And I tried to figure out, I think 4 was the max of the students that I had in each family, and I think there were 5 different families where I had all 4 of the kids, and it was a wonderful experience. However, whether it was 4 or 1, it was an awesome experience, and I'm forever grateful for those parents, many of whom I think I could count as friends nowadays. Also, not to be underestimated, are the school administrators. For my 31-year career, for 30.75 years, I had the unequivocal support of my administrators. And that would be my building principal, the people over at the board office, our Board of Education. They gave me curricular autonomy and the green light to go places and do things that maybe didn't seem to make a lot of sense at the time, but it all worked out for the benefit of our students. So I thank our administrative staff for their support. And it wouldn't take much to put a little bit of a speed bump in there that would complicate things. So it's very much appreciated. I also must thank Bert Richard, who is, I referred to him as the Christopher Columbus of Superior DECA. Bert is the one that started it at Superior High School, and I'm forever indebted to him because he encouraged me to apply for a job up in Superior. I also must thank my nominator, who is Heidi Heitens Siegfrieds, and who entered my classroom in 1997, and just a freckle-faced young kid, but she did far more than just warm a chair and steal my oxygen in the room. She was a real contributor her junior and senior year in terms of DECA, a top 10 national finalist as a senior, and then she went on and got her teaching degree and taught a couple places and eventually moved back here, and I had the pleasure of working with her in my own department. Just another example of the wonderful opportunities that are provided not only through Superior DECA, but the school district of Superior. And I got to tell you, this school right here, this is a veritable smorgasbord of opportunities for kids to get involved and to grow and prosper. I'm very appreciative of being nominated and the fact that I was actually inducted. And it's always better to be inducted than indicted. So anyway, thank you very much. Appreciate your time and effort.
All right, our next category is the Academic Lifetime Achievement Award. This award goes to an inductee who is a graduate of the Superior Community Schools and has met and demonstrated high academic standards. They've made substantial contribution to their community, achieved distinguished levels in chosen profession, or made exceptional contributions to mankind. The first inductee is Daniel Singer.
It's not the same guitar, but I still play. I am going to speak, but I'll try to keep it a nice musical speech. I want to begin by thanking my beautiful wife, Lauren, and our two amazing boys, Aiden and Ariel, who are tuning in from our home in Manhattan. Thanks for always supporting me and for letting me return to my hometown on a very busy holiday, the day after Rosh Hashanah. And to my dear mom, Sarka, and my brother, John, for making the trek up here to celebrate this journey with me. I really, really appreciate it. None of this would have been possible without my longtime friend and classmate from the music department at UW Superior, Amy Eichers. Thank you for nominating me for this award and for doing such a beautiful job conducting your incredible kids and that gorgeous Superior High School Chamber Orchestra for this event. Just beautiful. The first thing I asked Amy was, "Are you sure you nominated the right person for this award?" The class of '92 had very intense competition for valedictorian and salutatorian, including Chad Carlson, Rebecca Hansen, Anita Ramish, and Justin Meltz, who I found out is actually a distant cousin of mine, and Mark Rangel, our 1992 valedictorian, who loves to show up and surprise both me and Jason Kalin in random places all the time, so it seems. Thanks for surprising us yet again tonight. Anyway, I wasn't one of these top students, but intelligence and sports come in different forms. There's pitching, and then there's pitch control. I stayed local at UW Superior for my undergrad to save money for grad school, and I remained close to my father, who was in ailing health. For my non-traditional career path as a cantor, opera singer, and all-around musician and researcher, my late father, Barry Singer, the local librarian, archivist, and English professor at UW Superior, would quote Robert Frost, "Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the road less traveled by, and that has made all the difference." Amy made it clear to me that she had made the right choice, and she was hoping a musician would win. So I also want to thank the committee for selecting me, of all those incredible people who have graduated from this incredible institution. I will try my best not to disappoint and limit my speaking and close with a song that I wrote just for this occasion. I'm known as cantor singer, not cantor speaker. I don't think I can fully express how much this means to me or what it would have meant to my dad had he lived to see this day. This reminds me a lot of the City of Superior's Employee of the Year award that our dad had won in 1991. He received his award after producing a two-part documentary film about Superior's Globe shipyards. He enlisted the UW Superior Symphonic Band to play the Globe theme for the film and interviewed workers on camera, whom many here might even recognize as old friends or relatives. His boss gave him several gag gifts, including a Nobel Prize, which was a small replica of the Liberty Bell, only without the bell. Dad had hoped to write a book of his own before he passed, but he instead spent much of his time doing extensive research for other authors, like a UW Superior history professor who wrote and credited him for two of the most detailed books one can find on the history of the founding of Superior. Or Dave Engel, who wrote a book about Bob Dylan's Jewish upbringing, including his ancestors in Superior. Research projects Dad couldn't complete before he passed were on the Jewish community of Superior and his father's genealogy. Dad did, however, make time to write articles on local history. Lake Superior magazine featured his story on Ernie Nevers, nicknamed Big Dog, or the Superior Smasher, one of the greatest athletes in Superior's Hall of Fame, who went from leading the Duluth Eskimos to victory to establishing a record that is still unbeaten in the NFL to this day. Never scored all 40 points in one game for the Chicago Cardinals against the crosstown Chicago Bears in 1929. I can't imagine the shock and thrill our dad would have to see his son joining this Hall of Fame with the local sports legends who he so dearly loved. I clearly didn't inherit the genetics for a great sports player, or even this being the super fan that my older brother, John, certainly is, from the class of '86. But I did inherit my dad's passion for research and even singing about Superior's history. I wrote a story for the Forward in 2021 when AP and other papers were repeating the myth that Jacob Steinmetz was the first Orthodox Jewish player in the major leagues. The truth is that Maury Arnovich really was the first. I wanted to set the record straight, and his family thanked me for this, even if I ruffled some feathers in the sports journalism community. Arnovich won the 1940 World Series playing against Hank Greenberg, all while the U.S. was battling the Nazis in World War II. After his baseball career, Arnovich returned here to Superior and became the president of his uncle's synagogue on Hammond Avenue and 6th. He never forgot his family, his Jewish traditions, or his hometown. Today happens to be the day after Rosh Hashanah, which has been called the World Series for cantors. It's like tax season for accountants. But we call this special day, today, the Sabbath of Return, Shabbat Shuvah. It was tricky getting here at this time, but I couldn't have imagined a more appropriate time to be returning to my hometown. Which brings me to my music. When it comes to my inherited gifts for art and creativity, I absolutely must credit my mom, Sarka. I'm really, really indebted to you, Mom. Thank you so much. She was responsible for making certain that I studied folk guitar and songwriting with Superior's Lou Orsoni, which led me to studying voice and classical guitar at UW-Superior, which led me on my path to 3 more master's programs in opera, cantorial arts, and arts administration. I'm forever indebted to my mom for her insistence that I pursue music professionally. But I also must give credit to the teacher who first discovered my voice and nurtured my self-esteem. I'm so glad the committee chose to honor my dear friend Jason Kalin and classmate, because I get this opportunity to now publicly thank his mom, who I think I can say for all of my classmates, who we absolutely love. Mrs. Kalin, I still remember my first audition for you and the lead role you gave me as Mr. Bottomline, the manager of KIDS Radio, the 6th grade musical at Blaine Elementary. K-I-D-S, 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 kids, tune into K-I-D-S Radio. Remember, tune into K-I-D-S Radio. Tune in to Kids Radio. We're on with our show. I went away for part of 7th and 8th grade, but when I returned to Central in the 9th grade, you immediately recognized the potential in my voice. You had me listening to old records of great Russian and operatic basses, you remember? And although I was terrified to sing in public, absolutely terrified, you pushed me to sing a spiritual for the first of many Wisconsin State solo vocal and guitar competitions in front of my classmates. Deep river, my home lies over Jordan. Deep river, Lord, I want to cross over, yeah. was my first. I remember how exciting it was to have you come to the high school on several occasions, and you cast me as the fire-breathing dragon in The Hobbit. Breathing fire, breathing hard, guarding my treasure, won't let down my guard. Breathing fire, don't play games, or you will wind up going down in flames. It's a cold room. All of these experiences with you, Mrs. Kalin, led me to pursue the State Honors Choir, Collegiate Honors Choir Tour of Europe, on a course that, of course, also that cute boy band we organized, which I called Enharmonic, that won the talent show in our senior year, which featured me, Steve Hosworth, who's right over there, Joel Holt, Pete Rayboyne, Jeff Tackle, and eventually, of course, our valedictorian, Mark Rengel. Mrs. Kalin, I can draw a direct line from you to recognizing my potential in the 6th grade to standing right here where I am today. And I can't be more grateful to you. You deserve this award. The Superior School District should double down on funding music and arts programming. Regardless of whether they end up as professional musicians like me or not, these programs are proven to be crucial to development. It's not a coincidence that many CEOs have great musical backgrounds. My journey as a musician has brought me full circle back to Superior, not only for this award, but for a concert that I premiered at UWS this April with Alexander Das Largon Dafred, my classmate, brilliant pianist, Sandorian speaker, and very close friend since Central Junior High. I call Duluth Superior the crossroad of the North, because between Hammond Avenue in Superior and Old Highway 61 in Duluth, I've connected my father's unfinished research to a unique American story involving the record executive, John Hammond, and the grandson of our city's founder, and the grandparents of Bob Dylan, the revolutionary and very real Nobel Prize winner, who bridged the folk and rock generations together with lyrics inspired by great literature and history. John Hammond, who discovered and saw Dylan's potential despite all of the naysayers, was the grandson of General John Hammond, who built Superior. And Dylan's grandparents immigrated to Superior because of the opportunity that Hammond saw in undeveloped swampland. But nobody, including generations of Dylanologists, seem to have noticed this simple twist of fate. My research has led me to see how destined their paths were, and how destined our Singer family was to end up in Superior, of all places. In fact, while the city's motto in front of the public library today reads, "Living up to our name," the original motto for Superior was, "The City of Destiny." I finally found in 2019 that our father's Singer ancestry is connected to the Jewish founders of Superior, including many of Bob Dylan's ancestors who founded the Jewish communities of Superior, Duluth, and Hibbing. Several relatives of them are in the Hall of Fame, including Maury Arnovich, Joe Goldfine, and William Finn. So to end my remarks, I wrote a song as a tribute to this moment that I hope you'll enjoy. It's called "When I Return to My Hometown." Everything looks smaller, the high bridge seems taller, and all our old school buildings were demolished years ago. My memories of what happened to Dad's library on Hammond have faded like Withers pages from the memoirs of Thoreau. But now as I look back upon the fountain of my youth, and I look inside my teacher's eyes, I discover that the truth is that I was forward at the crossroads of Superior and Duluth. when I return to my hometown. The taconite and iron ore were shipped from Hibbing to our shore on the Great Northern Railway by General Hammond and James Hill. James Roosevelt smelted iron and steel. The Globe shipyards workers built hulls and keels and launched those big old whalebacks like a scene written by Melville. And in the wake of a fateful launch before 1893, a 10-year-old boy named FDR nearly drowned at the ceremony. No wonder why they called it the test city of destiny. When I return to my hometown. Generations later, in 1961, John Hammond and Bob Dylan, Superior's two grandsons, would sign and seal a deal to make his stardom real, and with Kerouac and Ginsberg lead a rock revolution. Now I know the more things change, the more they stay the same. I may never become famous, but I'll live up to my name. So let's raise a toast to all who are in Superior's Hall of Fame when I return to my hometown. So here's to Arnovich and Nevers, to Goldfine and to Finn, and our coaches and our teachers who taught us how to win. To those who came before us, and for those who are yet to come, wherever our lives lead us, we'll remember where we're from. We're standing on the shoulders of the ones who came before. From furriers and traders to Spartan warriors, we all know what it means to be superior. When I return to my hometown. When I return to my hometown. Everyone, when I return to my hometown. One last time. When I return to my hometown. Thank you. So honored. Thank you.
We might have to get a recording of that to play next year and every year after. Thanks, Daniel. All right, our second Academic Lifetime Achievement Award inductee is Jack Teskey.
Wow, isn't this a beautiful school? I mean, really. When I went here, we'd find classes in a circle, and we'd come to school in a horse and buggy. I'd like to say thank you to all the honorees before me. Can we give a round of applause to them, thanking them one more time? I graduated the same year as Mike Stack. He was very humble in his accomplishments because he was a tremendous athlete. So thank you, Mike. I would like to thank the Superior Senior High Hall of Fame Committee for this great honor and sponsoring and the sponsors for their financial help. I would like to thank my family for putting up with me all those years, for being home late on Thanksgiving week and especially on Thanksgiving Day, where I'd work a lot of hours. I would like to thank thousands of volunteers who helped with their skills, their money, and time for the Thanksgiving buffet. And finally, I'd like to thank my wife, Julie, who is my greatest supporter and who nominated me. The Thanksgiving buffet was started in Superior 30 years ago at the library's Zona Rosa restaurant, which was owned by Henry Cohen and his son, Dan. Mr. Cohen thought the idea was a good way to thank the community for his success. The idea was to prepare and serve a 4-course meal on white linen tablecloths. The first year, we had about 350 guests. By the 5th year, the event outgrew the restaurant and we moved to the Duluth Entertainment and Convention Center. It continued to grow, and by the year 2000, Mr. Cohen sold the restaurant, had passed, and his son moved to Arizona. A sponsor was needed to help continue with the event. I brought the idea to the College of St. Scholastica president, Dr. Larry Goodwin, when I was employed there. He embraced the idea and it continues to be the sponsor now. After 25 years of doing the event, I retired for health reasons. When I retired, the event was preparing 1 ton of potatoes, 200 turkeys, 90 gallons of gravy. The event was serving 3,000 guests at the deck, 2,000 home delivery meals, and another 1,000 guests in 4 satellite locations, located in Superior, 2 Harbors, Cloquet, and Carlton, Minnesota. Finally, I'd like to honor one other CSS alum who helped me tremendously in growing this event, Herb Berkson, the former mayor of Superior and Duluth. Behind the scenes, he gave his complete support and help. He would attend the event and do the job of cleaning tables and removing trash. I offered him a better position. He refused, saying he wanted to help the guests in this way. One Thanksgiving, there was a snowstorm, and a woman came into the restaurant complaining that her car was stuck in the snow. She saw Herb and tossed him the keys and said to him, "You dig me out, I'm going to eat." He did dig her out by himself and move the car for her. I miss Herb. He was a good friend. Again, thank you very much.
All right. I would like to thank you all again for coming to celebrate this amazing class of 2024. Each and every one of you, your support of all things Spartans is tremendously appreciated. Again, it's amazing that we can sit here again and celebrate so many people, just a small 13 groups of the amazing place that we all have a connection to. So I thank you again. Please don't forget to bring those complimentary tickets you got to one of our sponsors that give us a lot here in our department. They've graciously donated that, and we urge you to support them, and we appreciate that so much. Again, we like to invite each and every one of you anytime to please come support our athletes, our students right here in this pack, in the gyms, on the fields, in the ice rinks. We truly still continue to have the best kids in the state of Wisconsin, in the country, and we couldn't be more proud of them. So again, thank you very much, and have a wonderful night.